What's going on? It's a little later in the day. We're going to talk about flow state. So, how do you get yourself in a flow state? So, it's basically a flow or a meditative state where you feel that you can do anything. If it's in sports, everything's going your way. There's really no thought process going on. It just all feels remarkable, right? So if you're in a game of basketball, you're knocking down threes, you're knocking down two pointers, you feel like you could do anything out there on the court. Football, similar pattern. You feel like you do anything. Tennis doesn't matter. So this is the inner game, right? There's a book called The Inner Game. It's a really good book. Recommend it. It's a little older for coaches, consultants, as well as athletes. So when you can focus your mind so intensely on a given task, everything else fades away. It's just like a natural flow state. So how do you get into this flow state? Well, if you've never been in it, that's going to be tough. First thing, you should talk to people about who's been in it, what it's like, and experience it. So a lot of times it's about your effort level. It's hard to get to a mindset where you're in a flow state when you're giving low effort. And then obviously it's the mindset of like not letting any distraction or noise creep in. You're just totally blank in the moment, right? And there's a bunch of books on that, being present, being in the moment. I find the more you raise the level of your intensity, the easier it is to go in the flow state. So yes, you can talk to athletes how they get there and mentors and coaches and links below and all that stuff, but it's about practicing. Sometimes we want to visualize how to do something first. It's one of the best methods. Our brain doesn't know the difference between us visualize and actually doing it. So during visualization exercises, it's been shown your muscles even activate for that given task that you might be visualizing. And performance has increased with just visualization only. So focus on how to visualize yourself in flow state. What would it look like? What would it feel like? Close your eyes. And the key with visualization, we have two ways to visualize. We can visualize seeing things in our own eyes, which has been shown to be more effective, and looking as if we were a movie character doing that role. Both I recommend doing both. So when it comes to visualization, you want to go through a series of things, adding audio, all stuff. I'm working on a visualization book where you can, and visualization prompts where you can go in and pick different things to visualize things more effectively. So in a flow state, what do you want to visualize? You want to visualize whatever activity you're in. If it's work, if it's, you know, basketball, if it's football, if it's whatever it may be, you want to visualize yourself just staying on track, staying highly, highly focused to that task at hand. You just, time disappears, things feel effortless. It's just like you're floating almost, and it's just pure, um, intense relaxing feeling as if you're just barely doing anything. At the same time, you're just, everything is working out. So, if you're in flow state, obviously there's going to be things, distractions, other things that may creep in. And that's okay. The more we can block out the noise, we will remain in that flow state. So just like people will say, "Oh, I meditated, but I couldn't do it long enough," or "I visualized something for a little while, and then something got in my way, and I got distracted." Totally fine. This is like building a muscle. You don't just do one set and then stop and expect the biggest biceps in the world. So what you have to do is consistently go to the visualization gym. You have to consistently practice. And then you have to put yourself in the situations where you actually do it. Because remember, doing is more important than not, right? You can think about something all day long. You can think about getting better. You can think about, losing weight. You can think about making more money. But at the end of the day, thought alone won't get you where you want. Action is far greater than anything you can do. So you have to put yourself in those states. Does it have to be in the state, like, does it have to be in a state of work? Does it have to be in state? No. You can find ways to put yourself in a high level of focused, a flow state in a pickup game of basketball, or just practicing one on one with yourself. Um, so you can get to that point and practice it and try to see how long you can stay in it. A simple task from like uh it's not like you could say it's a flow state or a semi, it's just a way to practice is just stare at the second hand clock as long as possible. Do a staring contest. Do things that are constantly uh, getting you uncomfortable at staying focused for as long as period of time. So if you struggle with ADHD or HD, if you struggle paying attention, struggle in your areas of focus, start training your brain to focus on something specific. I don't care if it's watching the grass grow. Ideally you should watch something move so you have a ballpark. Uh, a clock or a stopwatch is great because then you can see how long your mind stayed during that time period. You can also go do something and put a timer on and see how long you stayed focused for before you felt a negative thought crept in and all that stuff, and then you can look at that timer. Now you have set the bar to try to beat it in the future, right? So you're constantly trying to train your brain to be in a high level of focus. You can set your brain to work for a period of time where everything disappears and you focus it super intense on that work assignment. Obviously you want to avoid getting, you want to get distractions out of your way. Get your phone out of the way, turn the phone off, your emails, you want to tune in to that. This is one reason why I like working really late at night or earlier in the morning. Doesn't matter. It's in a place where it's quiet, it's peaceful, no interruptions, and I can just get things done as effectively as possible. And if you want to wake up super early in the morning and that's your time, kudos to you. If you want to stay up later and do it at that time, again, if you want to lock yourself in a room, take a vacation where you lock yourself in a hotel room and you only focus on the tasks at hand that you need to be completed, go for it, right? But you have to train yourself to get in that flow state more effectively. You have to train your brain to be focused on something as intently as possible for as long as possible. And just keep doing it. Repetition is the mother of skill, right? If you want to learn how to become more and more focused, you just have to train your brain. It's that simple. It's no different than a muscle. It's will work the same way. But then you want to put yourself in situations like, for example, the Seattle Seahawks blare noise, they blare music, they make distractions on purpose so then they can train in an environment where it is more difficult. So constantly make it more stressful, make it more challenging so you can find a way to be more focused during that time period, even when distractions happen, right? That movie, The Accountant, great movie, highly recommend it. But what Ben Affleck did in the movie, I think he had severe, was he autistic? Um, where his dad taught him techniques about, pain and suffering and all those things and how to cope with things to be more effective. I'm not recommending that, to make it work for you, but I'm just saying if you're able to train yourself and put things together that make you more effective, that's really the goal. So focus on that. Always take action. If something's not working, try something new. Remember, the road to your success is going to come with a lot of hurdles, a lot of setbacks. But the more you can focus, the more you can visualize, and the more you can get in that flow state, you're going to be more effective. I hope this was helpful. Wish you all the best. It's time for me to go on a 10-mile run. Let's get after it. Much success. Take care.